Hello everyone, this is Dipali Pathak here and today I am going to explain you the third chapter of class 12 biology, that is human reproduction. Student, earlier we have discussed about the male reproductive system and today we are going to discuss about the human female reproductive system. Student, the human female reproductive system consists of one pair of ovaries. We should write here one pair of ovaries, then oviduct, or this is called as fallopian tube, uterus, then cervix and vagina. Reproductive system lies at the lower abdominal part of the body, or we can say it lies at the pelvic region of the body. Student, the function of this system is to produce female gamete ovum, then fertilization, secretion of the sex hormones and development of the secondary sexual characters, and fertilization, then after the development, embryonic development and parturition. All these things includes the functions of human reproductive system. Once again, I would like to remind you that the functions of female reproductive system is carry out the oogenesis for the formation of female gamete ovum by the germ cell of the ovary. Then secretion of female sex hormone that also takes place by the ovaries rather than the receive of the male gamete, and carry out the fertilization process. After that, the embryonic development takes place in uterus and then parturition of the fetus or delivery of a baby. So these are all the functions of female reproductive system. As I told you, it consists of one pair of ovary either side of the uterus. It lies at the pelvic region or at the lower abdominal area of the body. It is oval or just like a almond shaped structure. Then just in front of that, oviduct or fallopian tubes are there. They are connected with the uterus, and a big pear-shaped muscular organ uterus is there, which leads into the cervix and vagina. So these are the components of the female reproductive system. Ovaries are the primary female sex organs. Students, sometimes this question comes in the examination. Then what is the difference between the primary and secondary sex organ? So primary sex organs are those which are present at the time of birth, but the secondary sex organ develop during the puberty, and they are under control the hormones secreted by the primary organs. Primary sex organs are the organs which secrete sex hormones and control the sexual activities. So ovaries are the primary sex organs. These are, as I told you, these are the almond shaped structure, very small in size, near about the 2 to 4 centimeter in length. The ovaries are 2 to 4 centimeter in length and 1.5 centimeter in width and 1 centimeter in thickness. So this is the measurement of the ovary. Remember 2.4 centimeter in length, 1.5 centimeter its width or diameter, and 1 centimeter is its thickness. The ovary is surrounded by epithelial tissue which is called as germinal epithelium. Outermost covering of the ovary, that is germinal epithelial tissue, epithelium, that encloses all the internal structure of the ovary. It is connected by the dorsal ligament of the body which is called as mesovarium. The connection with the body wall, that is called as mesovarium. Just like this. Or at the back side also, this is mesovarium. We can write here. It is connected with fallopian tube also. Some ligaments are also there which connect it with the fallopian tube and uterus also. So in this way it is connected with the body wall and uterus also. Then it's a site of the formation of female gamete, that is ovum. Rather than, or we can say it is a site of oogenesis. Oogenesis means generation of the female gamete ovum. Just in front of this, a tube-like structure is there which is called as fallopian tube, or it is also called as oviduct. The proximal part which faces the ovary, it is called as fimbrium. The finger-like projection of the fallopian tube, that is called as fimbrium. Fimbrium help in the receive ovum after the ovulation from the ovary. The next broad part after the fimbrium of fallopian tube, that is called as infundibulum. Infundibulum. Infundibulum part lies just below the fimbrium and it carry the ovum ahead. It carry the ovum ahead. The ciliated epithelial tissue is there which line this tube and it pushes the ovum forward and carry it ahead. The next broad part of this fallopian tube is called as, ampulla. Swollen part also called as ampulla. Ampulla, it is very important part of the fallopian tube. It is a site of fertilization. Further part of it, which is narrow and having a narrow lumen, that is called as isthmus. Isthmus is a distal part of a fallopian tube and it has a very narrow lumen which carry the ovum ahead. Means the fallopian tube has three parts, that is infundibulum, and ampulla, and isthmus. These three parts commonly called as fallopian tube, where the ovulated ovule is received or fertilization may take place and then the ovum is carried away. After that, the isthmus joined with the fundus of uterus. Here the uterus, which is inverted pear-shaped structure, it is muscular organ and it helps in the plantation of the embryo and helps in the embryonic development till the parturition. The uterus is single and it is also called as womb. Then it is supported by the ligaments attached to the pelvic wall. The uterus opens in the cervix and then vagina. The outermost covering of the uterus, as I told you, it is a muscular organ. So, three muscular tissues layer is there which form it. The outermost muscular layer is called as perimetrium. The middle layer of it, that is called as myometrium, which is made up of smooth muscles helping contraction and then leads the parturition. This is myometrium. An innermost part of the uterus which line the inner cavity, that is endometrium. So, perimetrium, myometrium and endometrium, these are the three muscular layers of the uterus. Endometrium involves in the menstrual cycle and it consists of blood capillaries and nerves. It also helps in the implantation of the embryo. Once again, I would like to remind you the layers and function of the uterus. Outermost layer of the uterus, that is called as perimetrium. It is thin membranous structure, thin membranous in nature. Middle thick layer of smooth muscles, that is called as myometrium. And the inner layer which line the inner cavity of the uterus, that is called as endometrium. It is glandular layer and consists of blood capillaries and nerves and undergoes the cyclic changes during menstrual cycle, while the myometrium exhibits strong contraction during the delivery of a baby, means it helps in parturition. The length of the fallopian tube is 10 to 12 centimeter and it is lined by the ciliated epithelium. As I told you, it is lined by the ciliated epithelium tissue because it has to carry away the ovum released by the ovary. So it's a ciliated muscular and tubular structure which extended from periphery of the ovaries to the uterus. The last part of the fallopian tube, isthmus, that is connected with the fundus of uterus. Then each fallopian tube is differentiated into three parts: infundibulum, ampulla and isthmus. Already I have explained you the function of all these three parts. Then the next part, that is the cervix and vagina. Cervix, it is the lower part narrow part which opens in body of the uterus by internal ooze and the vagina below the external ooze. The main function of this structure is to receive the male gamete for the fertilization and carry it away into the uterine cavity, and then after the fertilization, when embryonic development completes, the vagina creates birth canal for the parturition and the delivery of a baby. So these are all the functions of female reproductive system. The female reproductive system can be differentiated into two main parts. First is reproductive organs and another one accessory sex organs or glands. Organs or glands. So reproductive organs. About the reproductive organs we have already discussed in this structure. Accessory sex organs or glands are also there which secretes some substances which help in the fertilization or in the protection of gametes. So these are mons pubis, second one labia majora, third one that is labia minora, then clitoris. These are all the accessory sex organs or glands. One pair of the mammary gland are also there which secrete milk after the birth of a fetus for feeding. These are all the important sector which are the accessory organ and help in the sexual reproduction in the human. The function of these organs are the mons pubis, that is the fleshy and muscular structure. These all are called as external genitalia. These are the external part which lie outside of the body. They protect the sex organs and help in the coitus. The mons pubis is a cushion-like structure and made up of fatty tissues covered by skin and pubic hair. The labia majora and labia minora, these are the fleshy structure folds of a skin and they protect the vaginal orifices and vulva. Just above this vaginal orifice, the labia majora connect with the mons pubis and form a main external genitalia like penis and show the homology with it. The vaginal opening, sometimes it is covered by a membranous structure which is called as hymen. One more structure, a membranous structure which covers the vaginal orifice internally, it is called as hymen. Hymen may present sometime it may absent or it may broken during sports activity or by riding bicycles or any jerk. Then mammary glands. Mammary glands are one paired structure which lie at the thoracic cavity, thoracic region of the body, and they are responsible for the production and secretion of milk for feeding the baby. The functional mammary gland is a characteristic of all female mammals. It's a modified sweat gland, and the mammary glands are paired in structure. These are also called as the breast. That contain the glandular tissue. You can see here in the diagram the glandular tissue is there, and variable amount of fat. A fatty layer is also there in the gland, in between the glands and around it. Behind this glandular part, the ribs and pectoralis major muscles are there. Ribs and pectoralis muscles are there. So, this is the structure of a mammary gland. The glandular tissue of each breast is divided into 15 to 20 mammary lobes. You can see here in the diagram the mammary lobes are also there. A big lobe is there which consists of many lobules. This lobe consists of many lobules. These are the clusters of the cells. They are called as alveoli. So these are the mammary alveolus or alveoli. The cell of alveoli secretes milk, which stores. This alveolar region secretes the milk. These are responsible for the production of milk, and that secreted milk is stored in the cavities of alveoli or in the lumen. This is the lumen part of the mammary lobe. Then the alveoli opens into the mammary tubules. You can see here in the diagram the mammary tubules are there. Here mammary tubules are joined to the mammary duct. This common duct is there which is connected with the mammary tubule, and each ducts are connected at the tip and form a lactiferous duct through which it can be sucked by a baby. Several mammary ducts join to form a wider mammary ampulla. Here you can see the mammary ampulla where many ducts are joined together, or they come here and gather here and form the lactiferous, form the alveolar part of the breast. Then the lactiferous duct through which the milk is sucked out. This milk is secreted by the action of the hormone, that is oxytocin. This milk let down by the effect of oxytocin hormone, which is released after the parturition, and it is synthesized by the hormone prolactin. So these two important hormones are there, oxytocin and prolactin. prolactin hormone help in the synthesis of milk in the breast after the parturition, and oxytocin help in it to let down. From the mammary glands. So, this is the enlarged view of the mammary gland, which is the modified sweat gland. The hormonal control of the female reproductive system is like this, where the many hormones are secreted by our pituitary gland, by the hypothalamus, and by reproductive organ, that is ovary. The main reproductive organ in female reproductive system, that is the ovary, which is responsible for the secretion of female sex hormones and for the development of secondary sexual characters in the female's body. So through this diagram, you can understand the hormonal control or regulation of the reproductive system. The ovary is regulated by the pituitary gonadotropin hormone, which is also called as the GnRH, gonadotropin releasing hormone. This gonadotropin releasing hormone released by the hypothalamus, that is the part of our brain, and this activate the anterior pituitary, it stimulate it and causes the releasing of luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone. These two hormones are released by anterior pituitary to stimulate the follicles of ovary for the formation of female gamete, which is called as ova. So, luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone, they controls the transformation of young primary follicles into the Graafian follicles, and maturation of the ovum, help in the secretion of estrogen by the follicle cell of the ovum. Then the luteinizing hormone also secreted by the anterior pituitary to regulate the ovulation from the Graafian follicles and the transformation of empty Graafian follicle into the yellowish conical corpus luteum, and secretion of another female sex hormone, that is called as progesterone. So, ovary secretes hormones estrogen and progesterone. Ovary secretes estrogen, and after the ovulation, the empty Graafian follicles, which is called as corpus luteum, secretes the progesterone. These both hormones maintain the development of secondary sex characters in females and then maintains the pregnancy, help in conceive also. They also prepare the uterus for the pregnancy and for the embryonic development. This sequence continues as a positive effect or positive feedback. After the optimum secretion of the hormone, the negative feedback starts and it inhibits the secretion of hormone. In this way, the hormonal secretion regulated by our different organs and endocrine glands. So, this is the hormonal control of human female reproductive system. In next video, we will discuss about the internal structure of the ovary and gametogenesis.